You know, in the world of cinema, there are some stories that just become legendary. We're talking about an on-screen romance so powerful it spills right over to real life and, well, it usually ends in heartbreak. But what if? What if the one person who saw it all, up close, left behind a final, definitive testimony?
We're talking, of course, about Rekha's absolutely iconic award-winning performance in the 1981 classic Umrao Jan. So what is the real story behind it? I mean, was this just brilliant acting, or was it something much, much deeper?
Well, here's the thing. The truth, as it turns out, isn't buried in decades and decades of tabloid gossip. Nope, it's found in the clear, recorded testimony of the one man who directed her through every single moment of it.
So, before we dive into what he said, we really need to understand the witness himself, the director, Muzaffa Ali. I mean, what makes his words carry so much weight? Why should we listen to him?
Okay, so Muzaffa Ali wasn't just any director. This is a man who comes from the aristocracy of Kotwara, a world that's just steeped in this deep cultural refinement, what's known as tehzeeb. He was all about artistic restraint, not sensationalism. The source material we're looking at describes him as a man known for his truthfulness, for his moral gravity. Bottom line, when a man like that speaks, you listen.
All right, let's get to it. The testimony. What did the director actually see? And it's so important to remember this. We're not talking about rumors here. These are his direct observations, and they're documented in Yasir Usman's biography of Rekha. This is on the record.
So, you might be wondering, why did Ali choose Rekha for this incredibly tragic role? Well, he said it was all in her eyes. He said her eyes conveyed the experience of having been broken and then having pulled herself together. Think about that. He wasn't just casting an actor, he was casting a life experience. He saw her real-life pain as the absolute key to the character's soul. But as the shoot went on, Ali started to notice something, well, something alarming. That line between the actor and the character, it started to blur in a really, really painful way. He was witnessing a devastating change in his lead star's emotional state, right there on his set. And then comes this absolutely stunning statement, on the record from Ali. He says, "She became a walking corpse. The fault is entirely Amitabh." Let that sink in. For a director, known for his restraint, his tehzeeb, to place the blame so directly, it's almost unheard of. This isn't some guess. It's his eyewitness account of what was happening to his actor.
And it wasn't just these emotional observations. Ali also offered a simple factual detail that, in his mind, was just undeniable proof of what was really going on.
So what was it? It's this. Ali stated, quote, "Amitabh used to come and sit on our sets during the Delhi shooting of Umrao Jan." That's a fact. Now for the director, this wasn't just some casual visit from a colleague. No, this was a constant presence. And to him, that was concrete, undeniable evidence of their deep connection.
But Ali's observations, believe it or not, went even deeper than that, right down to the very words Rekha was using in her private conversations. So the question is, how could her own language reveal her private feelings so clearly?
Okay, and this is where we get a really fascinating cultural insight. In Hindi and Urdu, there are these pronouns, inko and inhone. Now, they're used to show profound respect. But, and this is the key thing Ali noted, women often reserve them specifically for partners they consider to be their husbands. And guess what? He heard Rekha using these exact words for Amitabh. For Ali, the conclusion was simple. In her heart, she already saw him as her husband.
And all of this, everything he saw, everything he heard, it leads to Ali's final, pretty sorrowful judgment. He just stated it plainly. She was wronged. Amitabh Bachchan should have married her. Now, coming from a man like him, a man known for his refinement, this isn't some scandalous, gossipy comment. It's a profound moral statement, and it's just filled with empathy for his actor.
Okay, so this is where it all comes together, right? This is the point where we see how this intensely personal heartbreak, witnessed firsthand by a director, literally became the soul of a legendary performance.
I mean, just look at the parallels here. It's stunning. On one hand, you have the character Umrao Jan, a courtesan defined by her melancholy, by this profound sense of loss and a deep longing for someone she can never have. And then on the other hand, you have the actor, Rekha, as seen through her director's eyes. Her own eyes conveying that she was broken, her state described as a walking corpse, and her heart in love with someone who was totally elusive. The connection, I mean, it's just devastatingly clear.
And if there was any doubt, Ali himself made the connection totally explicit. He pointed to this famous couplet from the film's soundtrack. Jistuju jiski thi usko to na paya humne. It means, the one I desired remained elusive to me. And according to Ali, that line didn't just fit the character. He said it fit Rekha's life perfectly at that exact moment.
So, this brings us to the director's final word. And really, when you step back and look at it, this is about so much more than just a famous affair. It's really about the weight of testimony itself. So, why is Muzaffar Ali's account so incredibly important? Well, for one, it's not gossip, right? It's a first-hand account from a credible, deeply respected source. It also gives us this rare public moral judgment from someone who was right there. But I think the most important thing is this. It forever frames one of cinema's greatest performances, not as acting, but as lived, emotional truth. It cements a deeply human story right into the heart of cinematic history.
And all of this leaves us with one final big question to think about. When we watch a masterpiece like this, one that we now know was born from so much turmoil, where does an artist's private pain actually end, and where does their public legacy truly begin?